Every physical problem, ailment, or condition that we experience actually begins as a higher dimensional spiritual distortion or misalignment. And what happens is, if this is not brought back into balance when it's still out here, so to speak, where it's in our field but not in our body, if it remains out of balance, then eventually it will become physical as it moves through the layers of our being. And eventually, if not addressed, these things will become physical issues and conditions. Every physical condition has a metaphysical reason for being. And our physical conditions can tell us things and give us some very insightful and interesting information about who we are and what we're experiencing in the world, and also information on how we can upgrade and become more balanced beings and have a more balanced life. I'm Waxéla Sananda. Thank you for joining me today. So the reason for the topic of this video today is that I personally have an experience with, this is a tooth condition. So I have been having issues with the same tooth for, I'm thinking, over 20 years now. This has been going on in this same tooth for years and years and years and years and years. And I've done all of the things that I thought I was supposed to do and that I was told I was supposed to do. And I have taken the right herbs and things to balance it, and done everything with diet and dental and oral hygiene and all of those things that you're supposed to do. And yet there are still issues happening with this tooth. So I know that everything has a metaphysical meaning behind it, and I decided to search for deeper answers because what I knew about the actual teeth was somewhat limited. I hadn't put a lot of time into learning. And so I got online and I found a woman who has made this her life's work. She is in New Zealand and she calls herself the Holistic Tooth Fairy. I'm hoping to get an interview with her because she is fascinating. And I had my first session with her, and wow, the things that came up that I learned about what this tooth represents. And because of this problem with one tooth, it's actually causing a problem with two other teeth. So there are 3 teeth involved. And it has to do with alignment and balance in a physical way, but even in a metaphysical way, in a deeper way, what I found out are things about stemming back to my lineage, my conception, my balance in this world, my feeling of groundedness, my relationships. I mean, there are all of these elements that came up as a result of the connection that these teeth have to the metaphysical world. And our teeth are wisdom holders, they're knowledge holders, and they also represent our relationships and our truth telling in the world. And so when teeth get out of balance, there are a lot of things to look at. And of course, the same is true for pretty much every part of the body. But I've particularly found this exploration of my metaphysical meanings behind my affected teeth to be very transformational as I'm working and looking at the purposes and reasons for them and for these things to be. And so one of the things that I'll reveal about what I learned is the particular tooth that one of the teeth that's affected is connected to conception and the conception of my body. And so she asked, what was going on in your parents' relationship during the time of your conception? And I said, well, what I do know about that is my mother had told me that they were having some issues as a couple, and they had talked about either separating, trying a separation, or having another baby. That's something people did in the 70s, I guess. I suppose people might still do it today, but probably not always the best solution to relationship issues. Nevertheless, here I am. And And so some of the feedback that I got on that was, well, look at that. Your purpose for being brought into this world was to solve other people's problems, other people's relationship problems in particular. And where is that playing out in your life? And then another issue, another metaphysical connection that came up was um, this tooth that is, it's this one that's kind of popping out. It's always been in perfect alignment, and it's the canine. It's been popping out for like the last 2 years. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? The metaphysical meaning behind that is supporting yourself instead of supporting other people. She said that tooth is actually emerging to say, this is your time to take care of yourself. This is your time to not to focus on other people's problems, not to focus on what other people need first, but to look at what you need first and put yourself first and create that balance in your life first, and then look at supporting other people. And as you do that, then it's going to make space in your life for that tooth to come back into balance. Isn't that fascinating? And internally, I had also been getting these inner promptings to close down the things that are not really, really lighting me up or really in my highest good and my highest service. And I've been doing that. I've been letting things go. I've been taking time for myself. I've been creating space. I've been being creative, started painting again this week. And wow, it feels so good to bring myself back into alignment that way. And so I'm presencing this, whether you have tooth issues or not, I hope you don't. But if you do, to know that there is a deeper meaning behind every tooth and a metaphysical reason for the conditions that go on with each tooth. And then in a broader sense, your whole body, looking at the metaphysical reasons for why your body might be out of balance in one way or another, why you might have, whether it's a certain organ or certain part of the body, or if you have something chronic that's been showing up in your life over and over and over, that is beckoning you to take a deeper look at the metaphysical reasons, not just treat the symptoms. I mean, sometimes, yes, it's important to treat the symptoms, but not to only treat the symptoms, to get back into the deeper levels and layers of why are things out of balance and what does it mean? So one of the books that I use as a go-to book when I'm looking into these things is Louise Hay's You Can Heal, I think it's Heal Your Body. I think it's just called Heal Your Body. And it's a wonderful little book, very small, and it has each condition is listed, and then it'll have the metaphysical reason and even an affirmation that you can say to bring yourself back into balance. Yvette Rose's Metaphysical Anatomy is a great resource for looking into the metaphysical reasons behind physical problems as well. And it's a much more comprehensive book. Actually, I think she has a couple of volumes that are big books and really full of great information. So I recommend those. And then, for me, I went looking online for someone who is specialized in teeth. I found this woman, Melior Sims is her name, and I'll even link her so that if you're interested, you can find her. And she has a book coming out called, I don't know if it's called The Holistic Tooth Fairy, but that's what she calls herself. I think it might have another name, but it is all about, you can read about the different teeth and what they're attached to. Very in-depth and very interesting material. And, just bringing awareness to our physical bodies and what happens when we get out of balance, and life happens. We sometimes have traumatic events happen throughout life, and these can manifest in the body physically, but also we can manifest in our physical bodies issues and conditions that are related to our lineage, to our parents, to our ancestors. And if there are ancestral issues or distortions that haven't been worked out yet, we could, as a being, take that on. And it's always for the purpose to be healed wholly, wholly on every level. And if it needs to be addressed, and it will show up in the body and say, hey, it's really like a, hey, look at me, I need to be addressed, there's something going on here, there's something that needs your attention so that I can heal as a greater being. And then you're also doing a service to the rest of your lineage going forward so that they don't have to receive that, so that you're not passing that distortion on to them. And also, as a soul, you can come into this life, and you do come into this life with things to work on. And if you're not on track and not dealing with some of those core issues that you came here to work through, then they could eventually result in physical conditions in order to get your attention and say, hey, this is one of the things that we're here to do. Let's do it. And if you're doing it with, you don't always get to the point of experiencing a physical condition, but oftentimes when we're not quite on track with our healing, that's when those physical conditions really show up. And so you can even look at things like accidents, car accidents, and sporting accidents, any kind of accidents that you have. You could say from a metaphysical level, there are no accidents, because when there's a spiritual distortion to be worked through, and it has come to the point of, okay, the distortion is there and this body hasn't worked through it yet, it could actually cause the way that the universe works, you have to experience something that will bring it up to the forefront. So sometimes that looks like, I had a car accident 4 years ago. I had some pretty severe physical conditions that I had to work through after, in order to get my body back in balance after that happened. And that's actually an ongoing process. I still experience some things from the misalignment that happened as a result of that car accident. But why did I attract that car accident to me? These are the deeper levels of inquiry where, it's really, where can I take responsibility, or where can I be at responsibility for everything that happens in my life? And this is also a great reason to be proactive in your spiritual work, in your personal work, so that you're sort of ahead of an accident, ahead of something that might happen, ahead of an illness or any kind of ailment that can happen in your body. Because you're doing your spiritual work, you might not need to experience the physical symptoms and things that will bring your attention to it. And so with that, I just really wanted to presence today how important it is to honor your body and all of the feedback that it gives you, because our bodies are just these incredible high frequency containers for our spirit, and they're always interacting with us. They're always working for us. They're always giving us feedback. And even every symptom, every ailment, every issue is actually a gift to us so that we can evolve, for the purpose of evolving as an individual and as a collective, as humanity. And so we really get to be grateful for these beautiful containers that we get to be in while we're here, and the incredible way that they work with us, with our spirits, with our divinity, in order to give us the experience that we came here for, so that we may evolve. And with that said, I would really love to enter into a meditation experience that will bring greater alignment, greater oneness, wholeness to the body, to the mind, to the emotions, and to the spirit. And this is my vision today, is that we step into greater alignment in whatever you might be experiencing. I know there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot out there that can cause us to feel chaos, to feel out of balance. So the more we do to stay in balance, the easier it's going to be to stay aligned and allow ourselves to really be in holistic, clear balance, and oneness. And now I invite you to create sacred space around yourself. If you have your phone on or anything that might distract you, go ahead and silence it or turn it off. If you can find a place to be in a quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed by people coming in or knocking, then go ahead and you can pause this if you need to create that space for yourself. And then join me for this deepening into balance and alignment. Begin by deepening your breath, taking deep breaths all the way into the belly, expanding the belly on the inhale and contracting the belly on the exhale. And as you're breathing, you're deepening your presence into your body. Your eyes are closed. And just feel whatever your body is feeling in this moment. Letting yourself be present with whatever you're feeling and experiencing. What are the sensations? What kind of feelings do you notice in your body? And if you have tension in certain areas of your body, just breathe into that space where you feel tension. And then on the exhale, release that tension, just letting it out gently and easily. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out tension, anything that's in your way of deepening in this moment. And if you have thoughts that arise, just simply put them outside of your container. And you can imagine a golden sphere of light around your body. And this golden sphere of light is a container that is holding your energy, holding space for you to expand into. And it's simultaneously protecting you from the outside world so that you can really sink in and deepen into yourself. And so any thoughts that arise, just put those thoughts on the outside of that golden sphere of light. And that way they will be there when you finish. You can always come back to them later. But for this short time, they're not needed. So go ahead and just let anything that you started with that's not needed outside of that bubble. And in the center of this golden sphere of light, you are free to expand and feel and just be in your own space, your own beautiful being, breathing and relaxing and enjoying this space that you're in. And now bring your attention and awareness into your heart center, making contact with the light in your heart, and feel that heart light expanding, glowing, growing out around your chest, free to open, free to be as bright and lit up as it wants to be. And just feel your essence, your heart essence. It's like it's taking a deep breath and expanding. Allowed to emerge even greater than it was before. merging your heart light and energy and letting that attune to your breath. Very good. And now feel your heart light coming up through the body to the crown of the head and continuing up far above your head, making contact with the great central sun and entering into the heart center of the central sun. In this space, you are in the heart center, the space of divine light codes, source energy, source encodement. And this is a space where you get to receive the new codes for your being, for your alignment, for your inner peace, new codes for your purpose, your mission, and your being. Even if your mission is simply to be aligned in this body here and now, find and make contact with the source codes that are for your highest good and the highest good and balance of your body at this time. And open your heart to receive these balancing, activating, affirming codes of life from the central sun, from the divinity of the heart of central sun. And find yourself receiving, just be in a receiving mode as you allow these codes to come down through the ethers into the crown of your head and also around your body and into your body, moving down the spine to the base of the spine. And now find these codes becoming a torus field of light. So they're going in the crown of your head, through the spinal column, through the heart center to the base of the spine, out the bottom of the spine, and then back around to the crown of the head. So you have this torus field around your body of golden light of the source codes. This is Christ conscious light, which is informing your body, informing your heart, informing your being to be wholly balanced, to have the codes of divine light and wellness, of truth and balance in your body, that it may recalibrate and realign your physicality to be in highest balance and highest good, highest truth and light, and to exude the highest consciousness and information available to you at this time. Take some deep breaths as you feel and experience and see that torus field moving around your body, from the crown of your head to the base of your spine and back up through the spine. A flow of source code energy balancing you, aligning you, upgrading you in your I am presence. Breathe that into the heart center, feeling it as the fountain of youth, golden light, upgrading. It is youthing, making you feel rejuvenated, as if you are letting years of oxidation and stress go from your cells, just receiving this gorgeous fountain of divine light, conscious energy around your body. Very good. And now allow that to continue. A torus field of light around you is continuing as you bring your conscious awareness back to your heart center. And now this time, take a deep breath and bring your energy from your heart center down through the base of your spine and continue it down into the center of the earth, making contact with the heart center of Mother Earth, of Gaia, Sophia, Christ, making contact with the crystalline energy in the center of the heart of the Mother Earth, and feel yourself present in her nurturing energy. Feel your presence there, fully embraced in divine, loving, nurturing energy. Feel yourself held in the heart of the crystalline mother energy. Gaia, Sophia, Christ, embracing you. And allow yourself to feel supported, cherished, loved, appreciated, acknowledged, and embraced in this space of divine love and light, the heart center of the divine feminine. Just breathe deeply here, letting yourself receive this alignment. Letting yourself really feel this presence in your body. And now bring that energy up as liquid crystal plasma, coming up through the layers of the earth and coming up into the base of your spine, up through the bottoms of your feet, all the way up your spine to the crown of your head. And then centering in your heart, allow your heart to receive this liquid crystal plasma, creative energy. And feel yourself expand and let that light, that divine feminine, now come from your heart center and create a torus field of light that is moving up to the top of the head and down to the base of the spine. And now let that energy from your heart center come down to the base of the spine and then up through the top of your head as it comes around your body into the top of the head. And then back down. And then up around into the crown of the head. And so now you have the divine feminine energy coming from your heart through the base of the spine, up around, coming into the crown of the head as a torus field, while simultaneously you have that divine masculine of the central sun, of the source codes coming from the heart, up through the crown of the head, and around the body, back into the base of the spine and up. So you have two simultaneous torus fields, one from above, one from below, and they are creating this beautiful energy around your body, which is sustaining, balancing, and aligning, which is bringing all of your encodement up to par, up to speed, and activating even greater balance and alignment in your body. As you anchor your presence from your heart center in this Christ light awareness, the Christ consciousness activating through the golden light of your heart. And this light comes up and around the body while simultaneously it's coming down and up around the body. And it attracts to you your highest alignment and the flow of ease and grace in your life. It attracts to you the people and the experiences that will bring you the greatest good and the greatest expression of your gifts and your opportunities in this lifetime. It brings you balance. It brings you abundance, abundance of all of the beautiful and good things that this life has to offer you. It amplifies your light and your divinity so that it may be recognized and experienced by others, and you may be seen for your highest truth, for the truest essence of who you are as a being of divinity in a physical body at this time. And just allow yourself to feel and receive this balance. And as you are feeling these toroidal magnetic fields as one field around your body, imagine this field now around planet Earth. There is a toroidal field that is much like our own and of our physical body around the earth, from above, coming out the North Pole and coming down to the South Pole. And yes, in this image, the earth can be round. And imagine that this other field is coming from the South Pole up around into the North Pole. We get to create this reality as we choose. And so now feel that your toroidal field is in perfect harmony with the field of planet Earth. And feel now this field expanding out into our galaxy. And imagine if our galaxy also had an above point like a North Pole and a below point like a South Pole. And you can imagine this toroidal field around our galaxy, coming out the top and in the bottom, simultaneously out the bottom and around into the top. I am perfectly balanced and aligned as this body. This body is balanced and aligned as planet Earth. This planet is perfectly balanced and aligned as the galaxy. I am one being, galactic, planetary, and as a physical body. And now, going to expand out one more time into the universe. Imagine the universe as a sphere around the galaxy. And this toroidal field of light, of consciousness, of divine awareness, source, energy is moving from the top out, around to the bottom and in, while simultaneously moving from the bottom out, around to the top and in as a magnetic field, the universe holding this space for each one to be in total balance, clarity, and highest truth. Feel yourself being and floating at the center of the universe. I am divinity. I am source code. I am conscious light. And feel yourself expanding here, allowing this expansion on all levels of self, across all time, dimension, space, and reality now. I am one with the universe. I am one with the galaxy. I am one with the planet. I am one with the body temple. I am one. I am present. I am one with this body. I am one with this planet. I am one with this galaxy. I am one with this universe. I am. Feel yourself completely in divine grace and flow in this space. Feel your heart at one, at balance, and at peace with all that is. There is nothing to do in this space, only being. Feel that alignment, memorizing it, knowing it deeply within yourself. And now it's time to begin to bring your energy back to the physical body, starting first with your universal self. And let it come in, allowing your presence to be with your galactic self. And bringing that into your planetary self. And bringing it in again to your embodied self. And then bringing that energy into your heart center. You may want to place your hands over your heart center now, embracing the heart center of your physical body. Breathing into the heart and feeling your divine light coming back to the physical body, stationed in the body temple here and now. Bringing all of that beautiful balance and alignment with you, anchored in truth, in the center, in the heart center, the high heart center, holding your divinity so sacred in this space. Breathing back into your heart, breathing back into the body. As you bring your attention now to the bottoms of your feet, and the base of the spine, bringing your energy up through the legs, bringing your energy up through the spine to the midsection, You might want to move around a little bit here. Just start to rock and move with the energy as it comes up through the midsection into the chest, into the shoulders, moving your shoulders around now. Feeling your energy present in your heart as it moves through the hands, the arms, moving your hands around now. And coming up then through the neck into the head, just moving the neck and head around, whatever feels comfortable and good. And then up all the way to the crown and into your eyes. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes, feeling focused, aligned, balanced, and more present than you were when we began this journey together. And now just one more time here, focusing from the heart center, offering gratitude to yourself, gratitude to your body for holding your divine presence, gratitude to this planet for holding us as the human collective and all of the life here. Gratitude to the galaxy for holding all of the stars and our galactic brothers and sisters. Gratitude to the universe for holding our reality. And gratitude to divine presence, to source itself, for letting us experience life in this way. And gratitude to you for doing this work, for joining me today in this experience of expansion and balance. Thank you so much. I am Waxéla Sananda. I appreciate you. I love you. I cherish you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. I invite you to give a thumbs up, like this video if it was helpful to you. That helps other people find it. Subscribe to my channel. Join my email list if you'd like to get updates on videos and other things that are going on. I also have a class coming up, which is Metatron, drawing Metatron's cube and being in Metatron frequencies for a whole day class. And that is being done with Nadi, Hannah, and myself. You can register, sign up for that. I'll have the link in the show notes as well. Thank you for being present with me today. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you soon.